Elizabeth from Elpis Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So this is your astrological forecast, as I see it, for April 2020. And I'm making this in the midst of us as a nation and the world preparing for another onslaught of the COVID-19 virus. So do take care, everybody. Follow guidance as you're given it. And it seems like we should shelter in place is the best to do, no matter what age you are, but do keep an eye out for your loved ones and your neighbors. Okay, so when we look at April, we're looking at the two moons as well as the Venus retrograde shadow happening all in this month, and Venus is involved. So when we look at a planet dominating the month of April, it certainly is going to be Venus. So what is Venus about? Well, Venus is about a number of things. It is about love, for sure. It is about us socializing, right? Venus, especially in Libra, is about us socializing. And it is also about our value system, our money, those types of things. So these are all going to be influences not only through April, but also during that whole Venus retrograde in Gemini that I spoke about, of which the shadow starts this month on the 5th of April. But really kicks itself off in May and takes us right the way through the summer. I thought about this, and I think it's going to be, obviously our money is going to be affected, there's no question, and it's literally the stock markets on a collective level, but us individually, looking at our money because perhaps we don't even have jobs or our business. These are pretty important things. But if we try to take this to a higher level, the higher level is, what do we value? So by virtue of what we are now being forced to do, which is basically, self-contain ourselves in our homes as much as we can, not being able to have these distractions that are out there, we really are going to be looking more of what does mean something to me? What is of value to me? And this will come up again in more intensity once we head into the Venus retrograde itself in Gemini, as we start collecting facts about this as well. So for the month of April, there's going to be a lot of, I guess, what you call contemplating and, really coming to some kind of understanding of what's valuable to us individually, but also on a collective level. And of course, at this time, it's literally people's lives. Pretty important stuff. Okay, so when we look at the first moon that we have, it's a full moon in Libra on the 7th of April at 7:35 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time at 18 degrees Libra, 43 minutes. The two birthdays that are affected, of course, are going to be those in Libra, which is where the moon is. That's the 10th, 11th, and 12th of October birthdays. And then, of course, the sun in the opposite sign in Aries. It'll be the 7th, 8th, and 9th of April birthdays that will be affected by this full moon in Libra on the 7th of April. Generally speaking, this full moon is speaking to us seeking balance between our needs or your needs and the needs of others. And I think this is actively going on right now, collectively for sure, and individually. This moon in Libra does quincunx Neptune. So this suggests to me that we don't want to be martyrs, sacrificing when we shouldn't. But to bring in a balance of that, it's that give and take type thing. Are you giving too much and not receiving enough? Or vice versa. Are you taking in too much and not giving out to others? That's what this full moon is about. For Libras in particular, this is some conclusion for you. This is a wrap-up of a project, an ending of a situation, that type of stuff. We have Mercury still in Pisces. That will be, and it's direct, it'll be sextiling Jupiter within Orb and Pluto at this full moon. And so this just adds a lovely dimension of opportunity for us to do the right thing, to think about our future. That's where Jupiter comes in, and Pluto's all about transforming it. So this is a turning point for us collectively and individually, with regards to generally our future and how we relate as a society. As I mentioned before, when we look at Libra, Libra is also about socializing. So this is kind of, I suppose, an ending to us socializing, at least temporarily. And this is reflected in the astrology. We have Venus trine Mars as well as Saturn at this full moon. And this is just lovely energy with regards to our love lives, our money, movement, but in particular as it applies to the structures around these things. So I see this as things going on behind the scenes with regards to our structures, and in particular our money. But I think also, Saturn is about time, and I think this again is going to go back to that whole value thing of us as a collective realizing what truly is important to keep, right? And what is durable, and what's important. Most importantly, that's it. Now we're going to have Venus trine Mars throughout the month, on and off rather. So we will have Venus trine Mars throughout the month of April. Nice configuration. Basically, it gives us some beautiful energy to put new things in place with regards to our love lives, our money, putting our money into action if that's something you want to do. But it does go back to this whole thing of our value system. So this could be us just being given the right information and energy to decide what is valuable to us. Saturn in Aquarius heralds a time when beneficial structures will be created to help humanity. So this is kind of the kickoff of April. When we look at the leaders in this, it's going to be our youth, as well as those who are truly enlightened. It's not going to be our old school type of thinking or our old school type of people. So this is forcing those that are in power right now to change. They absolutely have to change. At this full moon, we also have a Mars squaring Uranus. So this is restraint. Just basically straight off restraint. Where you want to move forward, you can't. And I would say just take care with any accidents, because this is kind of like an accident-prone type of transit that's presenting itself here at this full moon as well. We will also have Jupiter conjuncting Pluto at this time exactly. And I see this as a very favorable transformation with the view to our future. And I think that's happening on many levels, including individually. But it can also increase our sense of paranoia and increase fear. I really caution you against this. For sure, be sensible and do the right thing for your family as well as for yourself. Follow guidelines, etc. But try to stop the fear and paranoia. We will get through this. There will be a better day. But this is the time to be calm in the midst of all these rather dramatic events that are happening to us individually as well as the world. All right, on the 14th, we have an exact square with Pluto as well as Jupiter. And this is by the Sun in Aries. I would say this is going to be some challenge, especially collectively. Something may come up mid-month that requires us to marshal a lot of forces. Jupiter can also be the military as well. So it might be mid-month that for some reason the military has to be brought in as a result of the government saying we need to do something here. I think that's the basic thing here. I see it as a collective thing as opposed to it being, but it's going to be some challenges mid-month is what this boils down to. So we have a new moon that is actually going to be in Taurus on the 22nd of April at 7:27 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And this will conjunct within a 3-degree orb Uranus. So to me, I think this is just saying that there's going to be some energy big energy that's going to be coming in here at this new moon. Now, it's related to the Earth, so it could be certainly this virus, some new developments happen, but it could also be something completely different. It could be our Earth starts to shake. We could have earthquakes, volcanoes, that type of thing happening in addition, to the virus. So that, just on a collective level, could happen too. This is a new moon for all Tauruses, so this is your new start to the year to, put your own vision board together of what you want for your year ahead, Taurus. We also have the new moon the north nodes of the moon at this new moon in the final degrees, so 0 degrees of Cancer. And it will soon be going in May, into Gemini. So this is kind of that final push of what nurtures you, right? And then on a collective level, what nurtures us, what puts us in a safe situation and a secure situation collectively. When we look at towards the end of the month, we have another square. Now this is Venus square Neptune. So on a collective level as well as individually, intuitively, I got being sold a false bill of sale or a false bill of goods. So individually and collectively, be careful signing off on any goods or any contract that you're looking at. Read the details. If you're not sure, ask an expert. It also refers to the love part of this because, Venus and Neptune together are like, woo, just the most romantic love you can imagine. With the square, it's suggesting that this may be a little bit of a fairy tale. Now, even though it's a square, these are high vibrating planets with regards to love, so it could be that it's not just a fairy tale. But I would caution against fully investing yourself into a fairly new love situation that seems fated, that seems like a twin flame, that seems like my soulmate. I'm not saying it won't be, but not only do we have this square happening at the end of April, we've now got coming up in May, early May, the Venus retrograde in Gemini happening, which will affect all our love lives, as well as our money, by the way. So we're not looking at big resolutions with regard to our money through the summer, just as a heads up to those folks that have a lot of investments in the stock market. If you go outside at night, you will see Venus way high up in the sky, shining so brightly. It's unbelievable. Please go out. This will help you connect with nature, as I'm always talking about that. But it is absolutely beautiful out there. We're looking towards the west. Now, looking south, you can see other planets like Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars too. But the most significant planet in the high western sky, certainly from 7:30 onwards, is going to be Venus. And I see this as an auspicious thing. I really do. We have great love surrounding us by the universe, by our higher source energy. It's there. Tap into it, guys. All right. Do take care of yourself. I'm thinking of everybody. Please leave any comments or anything you want clarified. Happy to do it. Please take care. I will be in touch soon. Bye for now.